Gaza. Gaza. Hey guys, sorry for the delay. I don't know what the balls is up with my computer tonight. I'm so confused, but all's well that ends well, I suppose.
We're here.
Matt, how was your holiday?
So far so good. Not gonna complain. Got to see some
Did the
family,
kids
got to
have a
eat
good
some
time?
food. Yeah, the kids had a great time.
Good.
Oh yeah. How about you so far? We got one left, right?
What's that?
We got one left, right? One holiday.
I don't really celebrate that shit, honestly, because we did the fucking ball drop one year, probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago, and it was fucking stupid as hell. It was like,
I would never go.
oh my God, it was a bucket list. And you know what? We happened to be in New York City. We didn't go there just for that.
Mm-hmm.
So we did it, but it's like you go there at like 11 in the morning. We got there at like 1 p.m. You get there and you fucking go through like 85 checkpoints. And then like you stand there in the same spot for like 12 hours. There are no bathrooms. There is no food. There is no water. There is fucking nothing. And if you have an emergency or something, good luck getting by all those people in the barricades because they fucking lock you in to your section. Like, it's fucking bananas. So you stay there all day and there's no kind of energy or anything. They don't even play music or anything till like 11 o'clock. And by then, everyone's like so fucking tired, has to pee, everything. And then they start playing really horrible music, and people start but you're fucking frozen. You're so cold. And there was snow on the ground. And oh my God.
Wow.
Then ball drop, like the last 60 seconds, 59, 58, and people are counting down. And that part's kind of fun because you're like, you're around like thousands and thousands of people in unison. But then it strikes midnight. People cheer for literally about 30 seconds. And then they're like, come on, let's go. We got to catch a cab. And everyone just fucking darts. It's like, it's not like people like stay and party or no, like literally the ball drops, which you cannot even see because of all the high buildings. You're like, you feel like a mile away, even if you're a few blocks. And people just fucking dart. As soon as it's over, it's just like, okay.
Yeah, everyone has to pee.
Pointless. Yeah, oh my God. My mom is so funny. When I got back, she's like, Joy, she's Bostonian. She's like, Joy, didn't you wear Depends? I've always been told you should wear Depends. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not fucking wearing Depends.
Yeah.
But no. I kind of get why people do now. It was cold as fuck. So, yeah. So, to me, New Year's another, day that is used to, exploit capital. And it's just like an excuse to get drunk. And like, I don't know about you, but like, in Pennsylvania, being in Harrisburg and like from Philly and stuff, like all of our clubs are like $100 a person to get in and stuff. Like, it's fucking insane. Like, it is just this
Yeah.
big, and then everybody gets dressed up in these fucking sequin gowns, and people fight with each other because, like, girls are always yelling at their boyfriend and shit. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like fun to me at all. I'm gonna order Chinese and watch a fucking movie. That's what I'm doing.
I like that. I like that plan.
Do you do New Year's resolutions?
No. I don't even try anymore.
Just nobody keeps them. Nobody.
Right. It's like I'm setting myself up for failure. Like, why even do that?
Exactly. Look, I know myself. I know if I'm gonna tell myself I'm gonna do something, I'm not gonna fucking do it because I'm a badass and I'm a rebel. Be like, you know what,
Yeah.
Joy, don't fucking tell me what to do. I'm not fucking doing that. And but I digress. So a lot has happened in the past week, as always. Let's see here. All right. I need everyone watching to smash the like and smash subscribe. That is what helps my algorithm. So let's get started. I know we are opening with some really amazing news for Temujin. For those who are not, devout viewers, my dear friend Temujin Kensu, I've been interviewing him from prison for over 4 years. I am actually flying out to Michigan in 2 weeks to be able to interview him in prison. It's taken a long time to get that approval, and I am so excited. So yes, 2 weeks, and if you want to chip in for my airfare and hotel, I have a buy me a coffee. That would be phenomenal. But in any case, he is serving his 38th year, and has been proven innocent of killing a young man at a college. He was proven by over a dozen witnesses to be over 400 miles away. And the Innocence Project, everyone, I mean, he has everyone on his side, like from around the entire world, everyone. And Governor Whitmer from Michigan, even people like Rashida Tlaib and actual Congress people have even written letters to her demanding his release. Gretchen Whitmer has had his clemency papers on her desk for 6 years. Since she took office, she knows he's innocent. He's been proven innocent. She purposely will not sign them, and we know why. And I am, well, there's going to be some things coming out. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah. So that's why I've been such a supporter of his for over 4 years, and he's become a dear friend since then. Also, in addition to what I want to show you guys, I did reach out to Marianne Williamson on Saturday, I believe it was. And as some of you know, I've known her for several years. And as expected, as soon as I told her about Temujin, she got me back in less than an hour, and she's like, tell me what I can do. And she actually knows people at the Innocence Project as well, because she has helped someone else just get out of prison after 15 years. So it gives us some hope. I know Temujin and his wife are extremely excited to have someone of that. She has like 3 million followers, so having, because this is what we need. We need people with big audiences. We need them to step up and use their platform to free this man. He's been in, like I said, almost 40 years, and he has a brain tumor. And amongst other disabilities, he has been denied his treatment for over a year. When he gets an hour in the prison yard each day, he goes out and eats dandelion, because that is the only vitamins he can have. They don't even give him vitamins. They stop giving him his chemo, you name it. So they want him to die in prison, so that people do not expose the amount of corruption that's been going on. And
Yeah.
I hate to bring it to you, but we're going to expose it. So please, check out, he's been on my show maybe like a dozen times from prison. So please look at that, look up, the Innocence Project on Temujin, hundreds of articles, hundreds of podcasts. I mean, you name it. So his info is out there. So definitely check into it. We need all the support we can get. He needs to be freed. So anyway, I wanted to share this post, and this kind of exemplifies how people around the entire world support him.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy, right? So the senior advocate of the Supreme Court of India has announced his support for Temujin Khensu.
Is it showing? It's not
It is.
showing on mine. Oh, it is on yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure what's up with your computer tonight. I think everything's fine from my end.
Okay.
I'm just going to read it. So, from the senior advocate, Supreme Court of India, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, namaste. Temujin Khensu is a living martyr of justice, unjustly denied. Incarceration is poignant. Prolonged imprisonment cripples the morale and motivation of the incarcerated. That creates shockwaves in the minds of the dear ones staying back home with heavy hearts. Madame Paula Khensu has become a fellow sufferer of Temujin. Every Christmas and New Year only frees the thoughts of the affected persons. When the governor, under a law exercising discretion to free those in prison through clemency, that discretion should be exercised objectively and dispassionately. Madame Paula has on several times expressed anguish and despair as the authorities turn a Nelson's eye to Temujin. Why not those at the top of governance discard Temujin to enjoy a grace of a government of the people, for the people, and by the people, end quote. Let us hope that the day is not far away when Temujin sees the daylight of freedom and breathes free air, and if winter comes, can spring be far behind. Madame Paula, may solidarity for your cause. Praying hands.
How about that? The fucking senior advocate of the Supreme Court of India shares his solidarity and support for Temujin, and his fucking governor cannot even bother to sign a paper. Like,
yep. It should mean something. That should carry some weight, I would think.
You would think so. But yeah, we'll be coming out with some stuff. Me and some other people you may know will be coming out with some stuff. That's all I'm gonna say.
Cool. Cool.
She will be exposed even more than we already have exposed her, because she is responsible for this man's life. And the fact that she has not ruled on this clemency, so she has left it blank. So what that means is, even though he's been proven innocent, even by, actual judges and such, even if she ruled against him because of her corrupt donations, even if she ruled against him, that would be better than just sitting here and doing nothing, because then he could appeal it. But she has sat there with it on her desk doing literally nothing for 6 years. That
Yeah.
is 6 years that has been wasted, that he could have at least appealed had she denied it. However, if she denies it, it's going to get a hell of a lot more attention.
Yep.
Now, every single Christmas, she does this thing where she is just so amazing and, oh, I'm doing my Christmas pardons, my annual Christmas pardons, because I believe in justice. And I was a former prosecutor, and I want people to, have their justice, blah, 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 blah. And guess who wasn't even considered yet again?
Yeah.
So Temujin's wife, Paula, myself, all of us, we're just looking at her sending out this email bragging about being like so, involved in justice. And we are just basically trying not to lose our shit. So even if you guys want to go on Gretchen Whitmer's Twitter, like I legit, like every fucking post she makes, I just put hashtag free Temujin. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. So anyway, yes, 2 weeks. I'm flying out to Michigan to see my dude, interviewing him there. I'm so excited. So yes, that was the first topic tonight.
Cool. I have Gretchen Whitmer's Twitter up on the screen. I wonder, should I follow her?
I don't. I stalk her, but I don't follow her because I'm not giving her that, like,
satisfaction. 100%.
Plus, I don't, like, she knows everyone in the prison and everything. I'm worried if I stalk her too much, she's going to hit up the prison and be like, is this girl visiting? And then I'll have issues. So I'm trying to somewhat lay low for the next 2 weeks.
Good idea. Good idea. All right, next up, RIP to the last standing U.S. president that wasn't entirely bought out by Zionists.
Yep.
Other episode or incident or situation on Earth, this is the most directly affecting adversely America in not bringing peace to Israel and justice and peace to the Palestinians. Yes.
You obviously were very successful in bringing peace with Israel and Egypt. Can any deal be done that doesn't involve sitting across a table with Hamas?
I've met several times with Hamas leadership, and I think they are willing to accept Israel to exist peacefully within the 67 borders or some modification of those borders. But the first step has to be to bring Hamas and Fatah together so they can have another honest election. That is a major premise. And I think the 67 borders between the two with some modifications will lead to a two-state solution. Netanyahu now, I believe, has decided unequivocally to move to a one-state solution, which every one of his predecessors in the prime ministership have condemned as a disaster for Israel. And I think Israel is now moving toward a disaster for itself, and insisting that all the way from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea has to be Israeli controlled. That is a mistake. The word apartheid is
from the river to the sea.
Accurate. Yep.
This is an area that's occupied by two powers. They're now completely separated. The Palestinians can't even ride on the same roads that the Israelis have created or built in Palestinian territory. The Israelis never see a Palestinian except the Israeli soldiers. The Palestinians never see an Israeli except at a distance, except the Israeli soldiers. So within Palestinian territory, they're absolutely and totally separated, much worse than they were in South Africa, by the way. And the other thing is, the other definition of apartheid is one side dominates the other. And the Israelis completely dominate the life of the Palestinian people.
Why don't Americans know what you have seen?
Americans don't want to know. And many Israelis don't want to know. What is going on inside Palestine. It's a terrible human rights persecution that is far transcends what any outsider would imagine. And there are powerful political forces in America that prevents any objective analysis of the problem in the Holy Land. I think it's accurate to say that not a single member of Congress with whom I'm familiar would possibly speak out and call for Israel to withdraw to their legal boundaries or to publicize the plight of the Palestinians, or even to call publicly and repeatedly for good faith peace talks. There hadn't been a day of peace talks now in more than 7 years. So this is a taboo subject. And I would say that if any member of Congress did speak out, as I've just described, they would probably not be back in the Congress the next term.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't agree with a two-state solution. I think it should be Palestine, period. But, you know, it was interesting. I did not know there were 76, I can't remember if he said 76 or 67 borders. That's fucking nuts.
That is crazy.
That's fucking nuts. I mean, you know, there's a bunch, but
what does that mean?
Probably,
at every road, or
literally?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this video is not current. So
right.
Fucking nuts. Absolutely nuts. So yeah, unfortunately, we lost the only president in history of the United States to never start a new war while president.
Is that true? Wow.
One.
Good for him.
One. That's fucking insane. One president.
Yeah, you shared this book cover. I haven't read this book, but
I have. It's really good. I'm going to read it again. I read it about 4 or 5 years ago. It is really good. Really good. And it's so refreshing to, you know, see a president actually talking about Palestine and talking about the horrors within Palestine and not just the past year.
Right, yeah. Speaking some truth. It's really rare to see a president doing that.
And you know, one of the things I was thinking about, and don't get me started on Bernie, but I remember in 2016, I'll never forget, Bernie was doing a town hall with Jimmy Carter, and they were talking about, I honestly forget what it was, and Jimmy goes, "Now do you see why I voted for this guy?" And everyone lost their shit because he's like, he just said he voted for Bernie over Hillary. That was fucking ballsy as hell. Like, ballsy as fuck to be like, yo, I'm a president. I'm a beloved president. And I did not vote for the chosen one. I voted for the one who I thought would be a better president. I was just like floored. I was like, wow. Like, he straight up said, he's like, essentially, I didn't vote for a neocon. I didn't vote for, you know, like I said, don't get me started on Bernie now, but back in 2016, like, that was fucking ballsy to come out and say you voted for him. I was hype. Yeah. I was like, that's badass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good segue into our next topic. DNC, cheating candidates, Marianne Williamson running for DNC chair.
On January 20th, 2025, President-elect Trump will once again be president of the United States, plus Republicans will be in control of both the House and the Senate. For those of us who wish to be part of a passionate, fierce, but loyal opposition to what the Republicans are bringing forth in 2025 and beyond. There's a lot for us to think about. I feel that in order for the Democrats to rise like a phoenix from the ashes of our electoral defeat, we need to look at more than just the outer issues, such as data analysis and field organizing and fundraising. We need to transform. In a way, we need to reinvent the Democratic Party in order to counter what MAGA is bringing to the table. There's a collective adrenaline rush in all of that. And we have to create our own massive psychological and emotional appeal for the American people. I understand why we lost it. I understand because I've traveled extensively throughout this country and I've seen how much pain there is out there. I've been up close and personal with people who didn't have health care, who couldn't survive on just one job, who were so depressed about so many of the conditions in their lives that were, in fact, at least indirectly due to bad public policy. And too many of them didn't feel like the Democratic Party had their back. I get how people didn't know that. And today, I am announcing I'm running for DNC chair because I feel that I can bring a level of expertise to the process of lifting up this possibility of victory over the next 2 and 4 years in a way that will not occur if we are only looking traditional mean politicking in order to make that happen. I know how deeply we need to listen to people. I know that we need to hear people. We need to humble ourselves. We need to know what it was that made people feel that their wallets were more important than their pain. We need to understand what it is that has made people emotionally and psychologically disconnect from a sense that the Democratic Party was part of a great legacy in American history, and that involvement with the party would be a way that they too could connect. I want to help people know what's going on in politics. I want to help people connect with the political issues that are going on in their lives in a very real and personal way. And I want to help people understand that by connecting to the Democratic Party, they can truly make a difference. That is the kind of skill set and understanding and spirit that we need in the next chair of the DNC. That's why I'm running. That's why I feel that I can help transform the party, reinvent the party, because the politics of the past will not be enough to take on the politics of the present and the future. Donald Trump is a 21st century political phenomenon, and we need to become one too. And I feel that if I'm in there, we'll meet him toe to toe. Same kind of energy, same kind of adrenaline, same kind of political and emotional power. And then we will have a very good year a couple years from now, even better year 4 years from now, because Donald Trump will have met his match. Thanks.
So a few things about this. First, I want to say that they vote February 1st. This is a really short election, because I looked it up and I thought, well, shit, I know it's been a few years, but I haven't heard anything about, I saw this video and I was like, oh, I didn't realize they were running people again. And yeah, it's February 1st. So I am definitely looking forward to these debates. I do not know who is running against her. I'm sure they're going to put up someone who will be like, rah, 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 rah. But
yeah,
and attack Blue Dog, whatever. But I'm cool with this, like straight up, because although I do not agree with her on some things, I have no doubt that she would fight for Medicare for all. She would fight for a Green New Deal. She would fight for money out of politics. I've known her personally for 4 years, and she has done that the entire time I've known her. And I think she sure as fuck would. Does that mean they will let her win? No.
No.
Does it mean that it's still good she's on the debate stage and brings that shit forward? Fuck yes. I think people should run, period. To at least, look, we saw what happened with Bernie. 2016, he's on the debate stage. He's talking about shit no one's ever talked about. He's talking about this thing called Medicare for all and climate change, and nobody's ever talked about this shit. And then guess what?
Yep.
2020, every fucking 24 candidates and every fucking one was talking about the shit he talked about. So if she talks about things on the debate stage, other people are going to have to talk about it too. So I see no harm in her running. Would she be the best DNC chair to this point? Yes. I still will not be a Democrat. I still do not believe there is any rehabilitating that party. And I mean, the only thing I can think of that it would be advantageous for us simply because there would be someone at the helm who wouldn't put up with all of the cheating and corruption, I guess. I don't know. All I know is Tom Perez, who I called it in my book, he just, yeah. And they do have a lot of power over representatives and stuff. I don't know. I'm okay with it. Like, I'm not mad about it. What do you think?
I don't know what to think anymore. I'm kind of done with the whole red versus blue bullshit and dividing people up, and I think sticking with either of the two parties is just continuing that trend. It sucks.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, like, I'm not a Democrat. I am never going to be a Democrat again, ever, 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 for any reason. I'm a proud independent. That is the fucking way I'm staying till I die, period. And as I said, I do not believe that there is any way to rehabilitate that party. It needs to be fucking smashed.
Right, because what's happening now is the Medicare for All issue is and has been for a while a Democrat issue, and if they put Marianne Williamson up there on the stage, they can treat her like the crazy lefty, like they treated Bernie, and say, "Oh, this Medicare for All is such a crazy leftist. It's so left that the Democratic Party can't do it because we're trying to be more centrist."
But with Luigi, a lot of people are coming around to Medicare for All lately, and a lot of people who never supported it are supporting it now. So I thought of that. You know, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I certainly don't see any harm in her running.
Yeah.
I don't know. It remains to be seen. I'm going to have her back on the show and we'll talk about it.
Good.
We'll see. Like, I think it's more feasible for her to do this than presidency. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't even know who the fuck is running against her. They probably haven't even picked them yet.
No idea.
Who knows?
No idea.
We shall see, but it's only going to be a month-long election, which is bananas.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. All right, this is from the Jewish Voice for Peace. On Friday, the Israeli military continued its destruction of the Kamal Adwan Hospital in Beit Lahia, Gaza, during which it abducted hospital director Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya. This doctor was known and well respected for his refusal to leave his work at the hospital, refusing to abandon his patients, even after the Israeli military killed his son. Jesus.
Yeah.
Here's another post. We are extremely concerned over the fate and well-being of Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, director of Kamal Adwan Hospital, who was detained by Israeli forces along with others during a raid on the hospital on the 27th of December. He must be released immediately and unconditionally. Seriously, what are they doing? What are they even doing?
They're torturing him. Literally.
No doubt.
We know for a fact they are. And they literally unalived his 8-year-old son. And he would not leave his patients. That's it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And, to those who still swear this isn't genocide, why do you think they're unaliving all the fucking doctors and nurses? Why? Why do you think that is? Because without them, people can't live. And even with them, people can't live because they have no supplies. It's just that. It reminds me of the Titanic, I will go down with the ship. The captain, that's, your hospital is being blown to bits and you're losing patients, but you're still I'm not leaving because there's still patients in here.
Here's another one you shared for me. From Code Pink, Israel killed his 8-year-old son in front of him. They shot him in the leg. He refused to leave his patients behind in a besieged hospital for 80 days. Israel invaded and burnt down the hospital. He was stripped naked, beaten, and abducted by Israeli soldiers. I wouldn't have even heard about this if not, for Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I don't watch MSM, but I'm sure they're not fucking talking about it.
Hell no. Hell no. You shared this with me. Hamas gathered intel footage from Gaza border towns for years before October 7th. All right, it's a news article from the Times of Israel.
Right. So consider the source. I'm not sharing this because I agree with it. I just wanted to share it to discuss it.
Yeah. So let me guess. They used drones. Hamas was monitoring local Israeli leaders, security officers, and individual communities near the border with the Gaza Strip for at least 7 years before carrying out its brutal October 7th massacre, a TV news report revealed on Sunday evening. Oh, so Hamas was monitoring. Oh, I see.
For 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Among the materials showcased in the Channel 12 news report, one document dated November 2020 showed that Hamas had the IP addresses and serial numbers of all the security cameras in the Shahar Hanegev Regional Council and the Ashkelon beach areas, including one of the worst hit communities on October 7th. Okay. Another document featured in the report showed a semi-official list of security guards working in that area with their phone numbers, including those from Kibbutz Kfar Aza and a few other guys. In a particularly grim finding, the report showed 6 pages of case files on each community with assessments on the status of the attack plan for each, which the terror group eventually put into action on October 7th, 2023.
So, massacre, all right, whatever, but let's just talk about the fact that it's this point that they're saying this 7 years. Okay, so what you're saying is that we are supposed to be so scared of them and they are so powerful that it took them 7 years to plan this one thing that unalived 1,200 people, half of which were the IDF soldiers. I just want to make that clear. So it took 7 years. They're that powerful and that scary and have that much manpower and that much, money and prowess and ammo and everything that it took 7 years. That's hardcore, man. They must be a stickler for details and like.
Yeah, it says, quote, "We see very, very precise and very detailed intelligence from an army for all intents and purposes, the Hamas military wing in the Gaza Strip that is collecting information on targets for attack and essentially preparing intelligence target files."
I mean, who wants to tell this person who wrote this that Israeli government funds Hamas and did the entire time they're saying that they were planning this?
Yeah.
Because the prior PM to Netanyahu has stated it publicly in interviews.
Oh, we don't say that part. We don't say that out loud. We try not to.
I mean, yeah, just selectively leave that out. It's irrelevant. Come on, that's moot. The point is they planned this one event for 7 years. You'd think if they planned it that long, they'd have been more prepared for the genocide that Israel is doing to Palestine.
Yep.
Anything to try and even attempt to rationalize. Like, honestly, I don't give a fuck if they planned it for 20 years. How does that make a damn difference? What difference does that make? There's 300K at this point that we know of. Literally 250,000 people, or 1/3 of a million people. And we're supposed to care if it started 7 years ago? Like, stop grasping at straws. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Nice deflection, dude. I mean, if you really want to go back in years, let's go back 76 years, and then you'll really be fucking shocked at how long planning something takes.
Yeah, Israel's been planning this shit for hundreds. It feels like hundreds of years, but maybe not. I don't know.
At least since 48, so 76 years, at least.
At least.
I'm pretty sure 76 is more than 7, but I don't know.
I think so. Here is a tweet from Rupa Maria. It is time for the medical community worldwide to escalate for Gaza. What does this look like? Call in sick from genocide. 1/6 on January 6th. Take a mental health sick leave because you are morally injured and burned out from 15 months of witnessing attacks to healthcare workers and children. UN Special Rapporteur calls for global medical boycott of Israel.
So I kind of wanted to talk about this and see what everyone's thoughts were. So first, I want to talk about that post about a sick day. And, I didn't want to share it because it could be a trigger for some people because it is about mental health. But speaking of calling in sick because of psychological fatigue because of the genocide, I posted it on Twitter. It's a video this gentleman made that is so poignant and so profound and so thoughtful about how we essentially have PTSD by proxy because of watching all these videos and feeling so helpless and hopeless that we feel like we just can't do what we want to do. No matter what we do, it's not enough. And such. And it's such a profound video, and it goes into, examples of how traumatizing it is. Like, we know it's traumatic, we're watching it, we know it's traumatic, but the way he goes over it, it's actually a psychological thing. It's not just, he said it's kind of like survivor's guilt. Like, you go somewhere and your friend passes away and you don't when you're in an accident, and then you have survivor's guilt. Why wasn't I the one? Why didn't it happen to me too? That kind of thing.
Yep.
So like subconsciously, we are feeling guilt because this is happening to them and our country is the one doing it. Like, I'm explaining it poorly, but it was just a really beautiful video. It's on my Twitter. I definitely, if you can, if you're comfortable watching things on mental health, I definitely encourage you to watch it. It's just beautifully done. But in any case, I did want to talk about, this person who said stop medical, supplies going into Israel. I find that very interesting because people use the word karma a lot. I don't believe in karma. I think it's something we tell ourselves so we feel better about shit that happens. But it's a very interesting concept. The Palestine hasn't had anesthesia for over a year. They're literally using stuff they find in gravel as medical tools and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting concept. Stop giving Israel what they're not giving Palestine. Now, we know damn right well that's anti-Semitic to even bring that up.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that? I don't think we could ever do it without getting just fucking destroyed for it.
Yeah, we would be demonized and attacked for even trying this thing. This is interesting. This call-in sick from genocide on January 6th. January 6th as a day is taken. The insurrection, whatever it was, it claimed that day already. I don't know.
Oh my God. That's such a good point. That is such. Did someone in the comments said that?
No, it was just me.
Oh, yeah. No, that's such a good point. Such a good point. Yeah. Didn't even think of that. It's going to really lessen the meaning because shitlibs are always going to obsess over that like for the rest of
Forever.
eternity.
Yep. Speaking of shitlibs, here's Secretary Antony Blinken. Human rights are not the heritage or aspiration of any one nationality or any one faith or any one ideology, any one region, or any other characteristic. Human rights are universal, he says. Oh, and there's a video. Here we go.
From the outset of this administration, President Biden has made advancing human rights a top priority. That's simply because everyone, everywhere, is entitled to these rights, including people in the United States. And it's because we know that a world where human rights are respected is profoundly in our interest. As the last 4 years have underscored, countries that respect human rights are, on the whole, more stable, more secure, more peaceful. They're more reliable partners. They're better stewards of our shared planet. At the same time, we've been very open about the fact that the United States does not always live up to these standards, either at home or in our relationships around the world. Rather than try to hide these shortcomings, rather than trying to ignore these tensions, we grapple with them out in the open, striving over years, over decades, even over generations, to close the gap between our principles and our practice. The conviction that we have a strategic interest in upholding human rights is one of the things that distinguishes democracies like ours from autocracies, particularly those autocracies that are trying to rewrite the rules, rewrite the rights that have defined the international system since the end of the Second World War.
You know how people have speechwriters?
Yeah.
He wrote that himself. He's a sociopath. He wrote that himself because he's trying to convince himself. I think he literally believes that he's not doing wrong. I think he actually believes that. Because it's self-preservation. He's telling himself he's doing fine.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, he's a professional liar. It's his job.
/ politician.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty crazy to be saying these things, knowing the reality is so much worse.
Yeah, I responded with asterisk excludes Palestine.
Yeah. Yeah, what the fuck? What about those human rights?
Well, it's actually just for white people.
Oh.
That's what he meant.
Oh, I see. Okay, here's a tweet. Cancer is suffering from Netanyahu. It's the joke. Prime Minister's medical team says Netanyahu has been diagnosed with grade 3 prostate cancer.
So I do want to say this is not true.
This is not true?
No. And I wanted to bring this up because I'm seeing it everywhere. And this does not help the movement. This is not true.
This is literally misinformation.
Literally. He did have emergency surgery on removing his prostate from UTIs. Okay. And that is possible. And you can look at my Twitter. It's rare, but it is possible. It's when you have continuous UTIs and the prostate just keeps getting infected. And the only way to really deal with it is just by getting it removed. So that is the actual statement that came from them. Nothing to do with cancer whatsoever. Is it feasible? They're minimizing it? Absolutely. But stating that they said it is cancer is absolutely false. And people need to stop saying that because it's untrue.
Yeah, it's a shame. It'd be great if
don't be making people happy when it's not fucking true.
Yeah. Yeah, we ain't got time for that shit, and we're not trying to get
because people are like,
oh. Yeah, I mean, elites don't really get cancer, do they? I'm pretty sure the elites have some. The elites have some kind of cancer treatment. They don't really get cancer. Like the poors get cancer.
I'm sure they have. I mean, to me, like he himself is a cancer. But when I was growing up, I remember my grandma, who would be literally like 115 now. So, this was like generations, long thing that she would say. But she used to tell me that, really bad people used to get cancer because their body essentially begins to eat itself because it's a cancer. And she didn't say everyone who gets cancer is bad. She just said, evil people do get cancer. And, I was thinking about that and I thought, well, that doesn't really hold true. But, I was thinking like, I wonder if it just is because he is so egregious and repugnant that his body is just like rejecting him. I don't know. All I know is I haven't seen an update of his surgery, but all I know is he obviously survived because it'd be all over the news. And these doctors and surgeons had a real opportunity. And they fucked up.
They did. They could have just, whoops, the knife slipped.
Oops, I didn't sanitize these instruments.
Oops, I hit an artery. Sorry.
Oops, I didn't give you anesthesia because no one in Palestine has had any for over a year.
I like that. He's just totally awake during the surgery.
Dude, oh wait,
Hell yeah.
I'm not also taking out your heart. It's only your prostate. What? You don't even use your heart. It's fine. I'll take it right out.
Oh no, it's three sizes too small. we can't use this.
Oh my god, I can't.
All
So
right.
yeah, I mean, he's not even going to be really out of commission. He'll have the war button right in his hand, and
Yep.
he'll have like the IV in this hand and the war button in this hand. It's not going to
100%.
stop him from anything. He's only 75. I thought he was older than that.
That's a shame.
I know. Dude, do you know? Okay, people think Luigi's a hero. Can you even fathom these doctors? They would be in a fucking throne by next week. Like, they would have a fucking castle. Like, people from all around the world would literally start building them a fucking castle, like, immediately. They would be like, y'all had a real opportunity. That's a damn shame.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
All right, you shared this video with me. It just says, no, it most certainly is not a war.
You said Israel is in a war with Hamas.
Yes.
So has the other guest in this room.
Yeah.
My name is Fleur.
What is your name?
Fleur.
Fleur. So has Fleur. Let me ask you a simple question, okay? If you're at war with Gaza, why are you shooting children in the skull and in the chest? The New York Times published an article on that, came under a lot of flack because they published that article. They said we can't refute the evidence. We have the x-rays in front of us. They're shooting children in the head, in the skull, and in the chest. If you're engaged in the war in Gaza, why are you killing journalists? Why are you killing medics? Why are you killing UN workers? If you're engaged in the war with Hamas, why is it that Human Rights Watch just this past week put out a report? They tell people where to flee. They say, go to the safe zones. Human Rights Watch says, when the people are directed, they're being shot at the road.
But are you seriously saying no? But hang on.
When they get
Let me respond.
They get to the safe areas,
I understand. I've already made that point.
Israel drops 2,000-pound bombs.
I've made that very point.
Does that sound like a war?
No, I've made it.
Or does that sound like a genocide?
What
does
is
it sound like?
Well, it's in.
I understand.
Don't say that.
Dude.
Don't say that part.
Don't fucking cut him off. Don't have on him as a guest. Norman Finkelstein is the bomb. He kicks ass.
Yeah.
That's actually the calmest I've ever seen him.
Yeah, you gotta be calm and so you can get through, get your point across, and he did, I think.
It was funny. He didn't even look at that woman. He looked down and he's like, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Fleur." He didn't even look up. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
He's disgusted. I get it. But the fact that people still are saying that that didn't happen, there's x-rays. The doctor himself who took the x-rays and did the surgeries has gone on camera and interviews. Have they never seen a single fucking picture or video? What do you mean they're not real? Are you fucking kidding me? That is you think that's an own? Oh, those aren't real? Okay, well, what about the thousands of other ones? Are you going to try and discredit those too? Even the ones that Israelis themselves put up?
Nah.
Fucking gross.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
It's another post from Rania. Simply put, American politicians have sold their conscience for AIPAC blood-soaked money. Oh my goodness, it's Bernie Sanders.
I know I never share him anymore, but this is actually worth sharing.
I have been very critical. I don't know what your view is of what Netanyahu has been doing in Gaza. Okay, I introduced legislation that would stop arms sales to Netanyahu. We got 19 votes, which observers thought was very significant.
Right.
Significant majority of people who consider themselves Democrats agree with us. I got 19 votes. Okay.
Consider themselves.
The American people do not believe that we should be supporting a government that is starving children right now as we speak. But if you stand up, you're going to find that AIPAC and other billionaire-funded super PACs are going to go to war against you, putting huge amounts of money in a primary in your general election. So it's not a question of not understanding. There are many members of the Senate who will come to you privately and say, "My God, what Netanyahu is doing is outrageous. I just can't vote because money is going to come and destroy my political career." So you got to get at the root of everything, not at everything, but a key part of this whole discussion, John, is money in politics. People cannot vote their conscience. They can't vote their intelligence when they know if they vote against the corporate world or the big money world, they're going to get defeated at the polls.
I've had people tell me stuff like off the record and stuff, like even elected officials and stuff. And it's cowardice. It's fucking cowardice. No, you don't believe what Bibi is doing is awful. Because if you did, you would fucking say it. You're putting a price tag. The fact that you say it's bad and you still vote for it is a million times worse than if you say there's nothing wrong with it. Saying you know it's bad and continuing to, exacerbate it, that is so much fucking worse.
Yep, so worse.
So fuck all of them. Fuck all of them. They have no guts. They have no soul. They have nothing.
Pretty much.
And 19, no, I'm sorry. That's not a good number, Bernie. 19, it should be fucking unanimous.
Yeah, I had a comment from Wendy. She says, they're all cowards, including Bernie.
Yeah.
She says, free Palestine.
Yep. Anyone who cannot say the word genocide, like, even after almost 15 months, you still can't say the word genocide, Bernie? Really?
No, because the big money will come and then he'll lose his election. I think it's probably.
Well, he doesn't get it, so I don't. But who just campaigned for fucking Kamala? Over 5 million from AIPAC. Don't forget. So he knows. That's what's the worst part. He knows damn right well what is right. That's the real issue. He knows this should not be happening. He knows there shouldn't be money in politics. He's been saying it for 40 fucking years. The problem is he stopped saying it election time, and then election time's over after he, shills for whatever fucking moremonger, and then he starts saying it again. No, Bernie, no.
Yeah.
Like you say it all the time, or it doesn't fucking matter.
Preach.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Bernie. Puh. All right.
Bernie, you can't say the word genocide. And it's bullshit. What's happening is wrong. It's wrong. It's not a radical idea to stand up against the terrorist state of Israel. I'll say it for you, Bern.
Genocide. Here's a flashback. Tony Blinken and Mitt Romney admit the U.S. wants to ban TikTok on behalf of Israel.
I mean, typically the Israelis are good at PR. What's happened here? How have they and we been so ineffective at communicating the realities there and our point of view?
Look, I think there are two things. One is that, look, there is an inescapable reality, and that is the inescapable reality of people who have and continue to suffer grievously in Gaza, and that's real, and we have to be focused on that and attentive to that. At the same time, how this narrative has evolved, yeah, it's a great question. I don't have a good answer to that. One can speculate about what some of the causes might be. I don't know. I can tell you this. We were talking about this a little bit over dinner with Cindy. I think in my time in Washington, which is a little bit over 30 years, the single biggest change has been in the information environment. And when I started out in the early 1990s, everyone did the same thing. You woke up in the morning, you opened the door of your apartment, your house, you picked up a hard copy of the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal. And then if you had a television in your office, you turned it on at 6:30 or 7 o'clock and watched the national network news. Now, of course, we are on an intravenous feed of information with new impulses, inputs every millisecond. And of course, the way this is played out on social media has dominated the narrative. And you have a social media ecosystem environment in which context, history, facts get lost, and the emotion, the impact of images dominates. And we can't discount that. But I think it also has a very, very, very challenging effect on the narrative.
Yeah, a small parenthetical point, which is some wonder why there was such overwhelming support for us to shut down potentially TikTok or other entities of that nature. If you look at the postings on TikTok and the number of mentions of Palestinians relative to other social media sites, it's overwhelmingly so among TikTok broadcasts. So I'd note that's of real interest, and the president will get the chance to make action in that regard.
So that's really happening, huh? The TikTok thing.
Yep. Because Biden is not only going out as a genocidal, warmongering psychopath, he also wants to go out of office as banning TikTok, and as if young people couldn't hate him anymore. Like, really? That's your legacy? Okay. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Do you think Trump would reinstate TikTok?
I do. I think it's all.
I think he might.
He'll bring it back, and he'll.
Even if it's just fuck you, it's my decision now. Just to reverse it, to be like, you're not in charge.
Yeah, I don't think he would do it out of spite. I think it's all planned, and Trump is very populist. They need everyone to be behind Trump. I think it's part of that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We shall see.
It's coming up.
Sure is.
Question: do you support Ireland? Ireland to transform former Israeli embassy into a Palestinian museum in a bold pro-liberation move. Nice.
Ireland. Wow. I want to go back so fucking bad. Did someone in the comments ask if we support Ireland?
No, I was just reading the tweet.
Oh. Ireland. Fucking Ireland. Ireland. I love Ireland.
Never been to Ireland, but I think I'm from there or something like that.
Oops, sorry. Temujin, I think.
All right, we're at the funny. It's funny time.
Isn't that rad though? And you know what? When Israel said they were going to close down the consulate, literally Bono and Bob Geldof went and did a fucking two-person protest. No lie. Hello? Hey, can you guys call me back in like 5 minutes? I'm on the air. Okay. All right, bye. Temujin.
Oh, cool.
I knew that was gonna happen. But yeah, so they did a two-person fucking protest. Okay, Bono of U2 and Bob Geldof, they could not even get people to come to their stupid fucking protest. And it's like, Israel, like, you expect people to be upset you withdrew? Ireland is fucking partying. Are you kidding me? They had fucking celebrations in the street. Legit. Awesome. It was fucking awesome. It was like fucking parades in the street. It was so fucking rad. And then they say they're going to turn that into a Palestine museum. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you, Ireland. I want to go back.
I want to go.
It's so beautiful. On the plane over to Ireland, I asked a guy, red hair, pale skin. I knew he was from there. And I asked him, I was like, what should I expect? And he goes, it's very green. I was like, yeah, okay. It's very green. But he's right, though. I mean, it's a lot of land, like a lot of land. And it's funny because everyone has sheep. So they actually spray paint their sheep colors, like hot pink, lime green, turquoise and stuff, so that you can tell your sheep apart from neighbors. I'm so serious. We were on a tour and cool. I was like, wait, do those sheep have like hot colors on their fur? And she's like, yeah, that's how they tell them apart. So you're just driving by and you see like sheep with like pink check marks and stuff. It was fucking awesome. Random, but it was great. So yes, this is a funny. I'm in love with it.
All right, let's play it.
Rip it open. What's that, Murray? Will you what?
A few moments later.
Oh.
This kid has moves, man.
I know, it's so cute. Oh, that's so wholesome. Awesome. I love it so much. It's so cute. It is so cute. He's adorable. So I guess that is a wrap for tonight. Temujin should be calling back from the prison any moment. So yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are taking Josh, my guest for this week. He needs to take tomorrow off because he serves food to the unhoused. And they're having like a New Year's dinner for them. Cool. So we're actually going to do the show Wednesday night instead. So turn in Wednesday night at 9. Tune in. Don't turn in because you'll miss it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if
Yes.
you could do Joy Marie Mann, buy me a coffee, that will help me with my plane tickets and hotel when I go out, fly out to Michigan in 2 weeks to interview Temujin in prison. I'm so excited. But yes, thank you guys for watching. And thank you, Matt, as always. Much love, everyone.
It's my pleasure. Have a good night, everyone. Adios.
And hit